have 3 secrets that I want to share with you. And these are not like, stick around to the end and learn them. But these are true secrets that if you truly understand what I'm sharing with you today and you commit it to your business when you're building your business, then you can absolutely go as high or as far as you want to go in business. Because when it comes to building a business, first thing you have to understand is mindset. And these 3 things held me back for a very, very long time. Let's dig in. I think this right here says it better than I could ever say it. If I was going to sum up these 3 things, it would be this board right here. Now, I'm not sure if you can see it in camera. If you can't, I'll flash a picture up for you to see it clearly. But what this says is everyone wants to be successful until they see what it actually takes. I bought this because I needed a reminder that success isn't easy. It really truly isn't. And understanding these 3 secrets that I'm finna share with you is honestly the first step to really understanding that, hey, this isn't what I really thought it was. Because I know for me, day one, when I decided I wanted to be a content creator, create these videos, it is not what I thought it was gonna be. Is very messy. And that's the very first thing you have to understand. The very first secret is you have to understand that being a entrepreneur is very messy. Now, what do I mean by that? What I mean by that is in the beginning, it's going to be hard. It's going to be rough. It's going to be times that you want to make something look nice or pretty or sexy or whatever you want to call it. And you're going to have to just put it out there anyway. For example, with these videos that I create here on YouTube, I would love to sit down and really make these videos look fancy and make them look really nice and dapper them up. But to be honest with you, between the time that it takes for me to edit these videos, we talking about 3-4 hours of editing, and then to go back and try to make it look super nice and transitions and all that other stuff, I had to come to the conclusion that right now at this chapter in my entrepreneurial career, when I'm starting out with this channel, I just don't have time for that. I have to put out as much content as I can in the beginning. And over time, I have to accept that as I do it more, I'm going to find my flow. I'm going to find what works for me. And I'm naturally going to get better at creating, engaging content. But in the beginning, I have to be okay with just creating a video, doing the best I can within my abilities right then and there, not continuing to tinker with it like I would normally do, or not putting it on the shelf because I don't feel like it's up to par with some of the other videos in that specific niche. No, I do my best and I publish. And this is what it means by being messy. No matter what you're doing, no matter if you're doing a podcast, because I can tell you I have a podcast, and when I'm editing my podcast, my audio, I will literally sit there for hours trying to get every single mummer out of the podcast. But the reality is, I mean, that's not an effective strategy when you're first getting started. And this is why I say that the very first secret you have to understand is building a business is messy, and you have to be okay with being good enough. Because in the beginning, I don't care who you are, how good you are, you're gonna suck because we don't know what we don't know. And over time, the goal is when we look at our first video and we look at our 100th video, or look at our first blog post or first podcast, and we look at the 100th piece of content that we created, we can see a clear value, a clear level of quality going up from our very first one. And if we do that with the first one and the second one, we might not be able to see it as clear as day that, hey, my production value is going up. But when you stretch it out over time, it's easier to see where you started from to where you are today. And that for me, I struggle with, because I don't care if I was making a website, I don't care if I was creating a landing page, I don't care if I was spending money on Google Ads, I don't care if I was signing up for an affiliate program. I have this mentality where I want to be the best. Maybe you can relate to that, maybe you can't. But for me personally, I've always had this thing where I have to be the best. So for me personally, to put out content that I don't feel like is my best work, or I could do better if I just sit down and go study this course and then come back and fiddle with this piece of content, I mean, it's very, very difficult. But again, you have to be okay with just getting started, doing the work and putting it out there. And the way what I tell myself, to be honest with you, is in the beginning, nobody's paying attention to me anyway. Now, maybe once the channel take off, people will come back, they'll watch it, go back to my first ones and see how bad it is. But in the beginning, there's nobody watching me on YouTube. YouTube is not recommending me. So this right now, I'm looking at this as practice. I'm looking at this as being able to have playtime and learning how to, figure out my workflow and what I want it to be. The second secret, and this one is one that you can see clear as day on this channel. If you look at this channel, I'm all over the place. Like, I have essential tech skills or tech talk. I have essential finances. I have, Google AdWords training. I have a lot of different playlists on this specific channel because it's about building a business. And what you have to understand that I didn't understand at first is you want to know a little bit or the essentials or just enough about every single topic that your business touch. Meaning, as a content creator, I have to know how to edit my videos. I don't have to be a videographer like I thought I needed to know the best transitions, the best everything. Like, I don't need to do that. At first I was doing it, spent a lot of money learning how to color grade and all that other stuff, which, honestly, that helped me out. But at the end of the day, I didn't need it. I do Google Ads. I spent money trying to learn how to become the best I can at Google Ads, which I'm still learning Google Ads. And that's money well spent because that's a direct return on investment. If it's any place I'm going to study or master, it would be Google Ads and getting traffic to my website. Then you look at podcasting. I started studying how to edit my podcast better. Then I looked up how to build out my websites better, understanding conversions. Then after that, I started studying fitness because I realized when I work out, I have better days as far as being a solo entrepreneur. Then I started thinking like, okay, well, I need to learn this thing of finance if I want to build a business. So I started studying finance. Then that pulled me down a rabbit hole of learning about investments, stock markets, index funds, and all that other cool stuff. And before you knew it, I was 3 books in before I realized, hey, I'm getting off track. See, here's the point. When it comes to being a solopreneur, when you're by yourself, meaning there's nobody in the room but you have to be okay with learning the essentials of something and moving on. Like, there are all of those different categories that I named. Each one of those categories within their own right is a very in-depth, deep topic that we can spend years learning and mastering. But as an entrepreneur, as someone who's building a business from scratch and just coming into this from a day job like I am, then guess what? We don't have time to do that. What we need to learn is what we need to know up front to get whatever piece of content out that we're trying to get out. What we don't want to do is fall down a rabbit hole where we're trying to master every single topic. And for me personally, if I'm going to master a topic, which I am going to master a topic, and don't misunderstand what I'm saying, you absolutely should master a topic. But what you shouldn't master is a topic that don't matter. And if you're going to master something, hands down, pound for pound, what's going to give you the biggest return on value is mastering how to get traffic to your offer. Traffic and conversions, hands down, are the 2 things that I would master. Everything else that we have to do is noise, meaning turning on this camera, creating a video, and wanting to fidget with the dial or fidget with, creating nice transitions, or maybe getting a green screen so I can change up my background. All of that's noise. What I want to do is turn on the camera and I want to get my message out. I don't want to get hooked into, Peter McKinnon video is amazing. How did he do that transition? I'm not trying to be a Peter McKinnon. Peter McKinnon business model is him knowing everything about photography and videography. That's his niche. That's his business. For me, that's not my business. That's not my niche. So yes, I want to learn from Peter, but I don't want to try to have my video qualities as good as Peter. And don't get me wrong, his videos are very, very engaging. And for me being a techie, if I'm watching a video on anything technology related, it's engaging. the what's in your camera bags, the what tech are you carrying. All that stuff is very engaging. But at the end of the day, you can't get sucked into something that is not your core business model. My core business model is creating products or becoming an affiliate for a product and learning how to create marketing campaigns that skyrocket those products as an affiliate or as my own individual products. That's my core business. Sitting in front of a camera, talking to a camera, doing tutorials, doing those things. I do those things because I thoroughly enjoy them. But I don't want to get caught up in the latest, greatest. And if you've seen what's in my camera bag, you know I'm already kind of knee deep into having the latest technology, having a fancy setup. And all that stuff does is slow your production value down. All it does is slow you down. It adds more complexity to the things that you need to get done every single day. And I'm telling you from experience, if you keep it simple, and don't get me wrong, I have a account right now. I dropped my account with Skillshare because I felt like Skillshare wasn't really giving me what I need. I felt like anybody can go to Skillshare, put up a course, and then, you're sitting there, you're watching it, and they're never getting to the meat and potatoes of what it is you're trying to figure out. So I would find myself going back to YouTube. However, I picked up an account with LinkedIn Learning, which used to be lynda.com. And when I get stuck on something or I have a problem, a specific problem that I need to fix or a specific topic that I need to fix, I go learn about that specific topic. And once I've learned about that specific topic to where I understand it, I stop right there. I go back to doing my work. What I don't do is go take full courses on full topics anymore, because that is a significant waste of time, because we're not trying to master skills. We're trying to get good enough so that the things we put out will hold our audience attention, keep them engaged, and we're able to get our message across. This is one of the hardest things I had to come to terms with, because when I jumped into building websites, I started learning about code, I started learning PHP, I started learning CSS, I started learning about all the different type of, programs out there. Like you got your WordPlot, you got your WordPress, you got Flex, you got a few other new ones out there. Then that pulled me down to learning about Sketch, Figma, and a few other ones that ain't even around anymore. So my point is this: when it comes to learning something that you need to learn, remember, we're entrepreneurs first. We're learning this because we're trying to get something out. And we only need to know as much as we need to know, to the extent that it helps us get that thing out that we're trying to get out. Once we've done that, that's it. We can put that down, because trust me, you're gonna naturally pick up new things. So to sit up, like I naturally pick up stuff about this camera. I naturally pick up stuff about podcasting or using a Rodecaster or using a Tascam with 32-bit flow. I naturally pick up new stuff without sitting down for hours of my time invested in a course. And don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that courses are bad, but what I'm saying is, if you're going to invest time in yourself, invest time in learning a skill that's going to elevate your business. Me learning about cameras, me learning about podcasting, you can argue that that elevates my business, and to a certain degree it does. However, what would be more, I would say, beneficial to me would be if I'm learning how to tell better stories, if I'm learning how to narrate stories better in a way that I get straight to the point and I'm not rambling or running around the subject too long. That would be more beneficial to me. Learning how to create better landing pages that convert, or learning how to create better ads, or learning better copyright. These are skills that would be more beneficial to me. These are skills that I also sit up and I study and I learn. So when it comes to being an entrepreneur or a solopreneur, you have to understand and you have to be okay with learning the essentials that you need to know to be able to intelligently talk about a topic, to make sure no one's getting over on you if you're outsourcing it or something like that, and you move on from that topic. And the third one that you have to understand, and I would say by far is the biggest secret that took me a very long time to wrap my mind around, is when it comes to building a business online, everybody's starting out at a different place. You have Joe Blow over there who has $10,000 that they have upfront to invest in their business. You have, Sally Susie over there who has, $30,000 upfront to invest. You got Roger around the block who has, maybe $100,000 to invest. And then you got Leonard or Tom around the corner who, was gifted the business. And while all of that's nice and all of that is great, you have to run your own race. For a long time, I thought or I believed that the reason why I wasn't successful in business, or the reason why my content wasn't taking off, or the reason why my website wasn't taking off, or the reason why my business wasn't taking off as fast as everybody else's was because I didn't have the right tools. I thought I lacked the correct information because I couldn't afford the $2,000 courses, or my camera at the time wasn't what I'm using now, which is the Sony A7C or the Sony A7 IV that I have in my book bag that I carry around with me. I was on a webcam, and I thought those things held me back, or the fact that I had a microphone that you used and plug into the side of your laptop, and it wasn't a microphone that was off camera where people couldn't see it. I thought all those things held me back. But what I realized over time is everybody's resources are different. Everybody starts at different points. But that's no reason for you not to build your business. I don't care if you're starting with just $100 in your pocket and that's all you got to invest, and you don't have another dime outside of that. I would tell you $100 to get you started. Now what you have to do is you got to put on your hustle mentality hat. You have to put on your entrepreneurial hat. Take off your entrepreneurial hat where you're trying to go out and make sales and make money or sell something online, and put on your hustle hat and figure out how can you bring in more revenue right now to fund your business. Once you do that, it becomes eye-opening. At least it was for me. Because I stopped focusing on what I didn't have, and I started looking at the resources that I do have. So for example, if all you got is $100 and you don't want to go out, you don't want to put on your hustle hat, and the only hat you want to keep on is your entrepreneurial hat, then okay, I would say with $100, if all I had was $100, I would instantly go figure out what domain name I'm going to buy me, and I would go buy me a domain name. Once I bought that domain name, I know I got it for the next year. I would try to see if I can get it for $1. I would go through Namecheap, GoDaddy, whoever giving me the best deal at the time, that's what I would go through to get it. And at that point, that probably would leave me about $80. I would say 85 because I can't see a domain name being more than $15. So that would leave me $85. With that $85, I would probably put it in my pocket and I would hold it. And with that domain name, I would instantly start looking for what affiliate marketing program am I going to sign up to, and where can I write content for free. And my go-to thing would be YouTube. And that I would take my affiliate link, I would forward and mask it, and I would have it showing as my domain name. And when people click on it, they will go over to the affiliate site. I would let people know, obviously, that that's my affiliate link, but that's how I would get started. And at that point, if that's my hustle, then that means my hustle becomes how much content can I create and how fast can I get this content out? How many questions can I answer around this specific topic to get as many qualified people as possible clicking on my link that's in the description area? That would become my hustle. What I wouldn't do is what I used to do, which is sit up and focus on everything I didn't have, all the money I was lacking, and all the things that I would be doing if I had enough money. Because right now I'm self-funding my business. I put $1,000 in my business every single month. And that $1,000 in my business today feel like 2008 when I stepped into the world of building a business online, when all I had was maybe $200 to invest every single month into my business. Back then, it was a little bit different. I fell off my motorcycle, and that was a whole nother bag of problems. But my point is this. When you focus on your resources that you currently have, I don't care how much it is, I don't care how little it is. When you focus on the resources that you have right now to invest into your business, it opens up your mind to a lot of different things you would not have seen. It's true for me, and I'm pretty sure it's true for a lot of people. When they stop focusing on what they don't have and start focusing on what they do have and using those resources, I'm telling you, it will change everything. And if you just simply walk away with nothing else, understand these 3 points, these 3 secrets to be true, then success will be within your reach because you understand that it's going to be messy. Everything you put out ain't going to be perfect. Good enough is good enough. The next time you put it out, you'll make it a little bit better. You understand that you're not trying to master everything. You're not trying to be the smartest person in the room. You're not trying to outdo or compete with the Peter McKinnons of the world, that's their actual niche, that's their actual field, that's what they actually do for a living. You're not trying to compete with them because that's not your goal, that's not your dream. You have this totally different dream over here, and you're not trying to get there. And you understand that your resources that you have is enough for you to get started with, and you're going to stretch your resources as far as you can. And if that means shutting down things you're not using or going with an unpopular choice, then that's what you have to do. I can tell you right now, and coming up in 2023, I decided to go to unpopular choice. I dropped ClickFunnels, which was $297. I dropped the newsletter, which was $97, and then I cut down G Suite to like $12 a month versus the other 2 email addresses that I had with them. And I also went through and cut out a few other businesses that just simply wasn't cutting it for me at the stage I am right now as a startup entrepreneur with only $1,000 budget. Because here's what I realized that I wish I would have realized a lot sooner. If you can afford to give ClickFunnels $297 a month, in my case, and $97 a month to the No BS newsletter, then that's like, $397. Well, a little bit less than $397. It's like $394 if you want to be technical. But if you can afford to do that and you add in the money that I saved from G Suite, which was a total of about $413, there's no reason why I should have a website up that's not getting any traffic. That's just bad business. That means I need to go back to bootstrapping it, which is what I did, building out my own websites, building out my own landing pages, keep that money that I was sending out to ClickFunnels and invest that money into my traffic. And this is what I want you to understand about resources. When it comes to your resources, you have to be strategic and smart with your resources. And in the beginning, you're not going to be able to follow the masses. You're not going to be able to try a lot of stuff. I've gone to ClickFunnels 2 years in a row. I went in 2022 and I went in 2021. And each time I spent no less than about $4,000 to $5,000 between flight, airline. I mean, the hotel room was ridiculously high. That alone was like $2,000 almost. Then you factor in the $1,000 ticket that you buy. Then you factor in flight. While you're down there, you got to eat and all that other stuff. You easily get up to the $5,000 mark. And looking back at it now, I'm happy I did it. Like, I don't regret it. I would do it again because the ClickFunnels event is 100% worth it. However, ClickFunnels software, I don't think that it is where it needs to be. And when I adjusted my expectations of wanting to, hit the ClickFunnels 2 Comma Club, and I start being more realistic about what I want for myself and my business and my dreams, then everything started to make a lot more sense to me. And that's what I mean by, you have to be strategic and smart with your resources. And as long as you do that, as long as you understand these 3 things, then, honestly, when you see this board, it'll make you smile. Like, I literally got this board because I needed a reminder of this. I needed to remind myself that, anything in life that you want is going to be messy. It's going to be painful, just like being a ballerina. Every little girl probably want to be a ballerina. But when you see a ballerina's feet, she put in some work. She endured some pain to have the success that she have. And the same thing is true with building a business. So with that being said, I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, give me a thumbs up. Till next time. Later.